start. We're ready to go back to racing as we're live from Miami. And look at this. Here are the leaders of the race. After this yellow, they're all lined up together. Michael Andretti turns toward the green flag. Jim Swinfall gives it away, and we're back racing. Andretti followed by Guzman, followed by Villeneuve.
First and second are exactly as they started. Michael Andretti was on the inside of the front row. Guzman on the outside. But Villeneuve has come way up the grid and is having a fine performance.
Then Sullivan, then Pruitt. There they are. Bobby Rahal and Robbie Gordon closing in as well.
You know, it's interesting to think last year, Michael Andretti and Guzman on the same team last year. Not the same team this year. Run first now, or run first and second. Guzman last year, ironically, was ahead of Michael most of the time in the race.
Yeah, they were bitter rivals actually last year, weren't they, Bobby, even though they drove for the same team. However, at the end of the year, it was Michael Andretti who had 2 wins and Guzman did not.
Michael has really looked good today, Sam. He's been in the right place at the right time. He's not abusing his car. He did rub the wall one time. That was just running too fast, though.
In 8th place, just behind Robbie Gordon. Look at Rahal. Boy, he almost lost it there. Just behind Robbie Gordon is Jimmy Vasser, who's now in the top 10. Then Stefan Johansson and Christian Fittipaldi rounds out the top 10.
That shows you the track is getting just a little bit slippery. Remember, the more rubber you put on the track, the more slippery it gets. There's no heat problems here. Is that just a little bit?
Or is it a little bit?
Well, a little bit. I mean, it's quite a bit right now.
Well, Bobby, your point at the beginning of the show about how parts of the track are cement, parts of it are pavement, is very tricky for the drivers to go from one part to another. But the sun starts to get a little low in the sky, visibility problems happen too. Christian Fittipaldi, a terrific pass down on the inside.
Christian Fittipaldi his way up. He's in the top 10.
Christian Fittipaldi is one of the fast drivers on the track right now, you guys, because after all, remember, he had the black flag incident, he had the problem in the pit. He's really moving that car. I think we're going to see him move up.
Christian made that move around Stefan Johansson, moved up into 9th place.
He's got Vasser right ahead of him now. That would be 8th place. And then Robbie Gordon just in that blue car. There's Gordon just disappearing at the bottom of the screen. So it'll be interesting. I think Fittipaldi is going to pick off fairly big names, 2 American drivers here in the next couple of laps.
He's charging at the back end of Jimmy Vasser, who has had a great weekend here. New team for Jimmy, driving for Chip Ganassi. Robbie Gordon worrying him to death.
You see Robbie Gordon there going by first of that group. He's going to be on the Home Improvement Show with Tim Allen, March 28th. You might want to watch for that.
So Christian Fittipaldi moving up. Stefan Johansson's not really happy with the pass that was made. I mean, it was a good pass. I think he wants to get right back around it.
Boy, when Christian pulled out there, was going to pass going into the chicane, I thought, wow, I've got to see that if he goes through with it.
Christian Fittipaldi at the back of Jimmy Vasser.
Christian said, well, he's going to get a lot of tips from his nephew, Emo. And so far, he's done much better this weekend than Emo has.
The other way around, Sam. He's the nephew. Emo's the uncle.
His uncle, sorry, exactly. And I do think that when they get out to Phoenix, Uncle Emo is going to be very helpful to his young nephew.
So you got to help Sam occasionally, don't we?
I don't know about the word helpful. I think he may show him a thing or two.
Yeah.
Watching this ongoing battle, revolving around Robbie Gordon, Jim Vasser, Christian Fittipaldi.
And keep in mind also, Robbie Gordon has the hard tires on his car, the hard Goodyear. Goodyear has 2 compounds here. A soft compound they used to qualify and a harder compound for the race. Sometimes, even though it's harder, it's still a faster tire.
I love this angle. This is looking back from under the rear wing on Robbie Gordon's car. See Fittipaldi peek out there as they came through the chicane. Let's prove know he was there.
In the straightaways, the cars are not really running faster than the ones behind like you see there. It's just that you're going faster and they separate more, but they gather back up in the sharp turns.
That's Vasser just behind. That's Fittipaldi.
Vasser, of course, has changed teams. He's now with the Ganassi team. He was with Jim Hale's team last year. Doing a good job.
I think this shot really shows that accordion effect that happens into a corner when the lead car gets under brakes. It looks like everybody's going to pull in and pass him, and the lead car is first back to acceleration, and it evens back out.
True, it's somewhat...
Whoa!
Wow.
Jimmy Vassar just jumps to the inside all of a sudden on Robbie Gordon and gets him.
Best pass we've seen today. I mean, I know Robbie Gordon didn't expect that one.
And behind there, Christian Fittipaldi ripped by Gordon as well.
Now you got to ask yourself, is there something wrong? There's Johansson closing in on Gordon.
No, I think it's just the harder tires.
I don't think there's anything wrong. I think it's just a matter of, like, sometimes guys get caught a little bit lackadaisical. You call it going to sleep a little bit.
No, because look, once Vassar got around Gordon, he's really starting to pull away. Here comes Johansson trying on Robbie Gordon's back end.
No, I think that's just the difference between the softer compound tires and the harder compound tires Gordon is wearing.
And that's more of some of the good stuff that we are going to see all season long with the two tire manufacturers being in this. Let's go to Jack Arute.
Well, Paul, throw the tire controversy right out the window. That's not the problem with Robbie Gordon. How'd you like to be in the cockpit of a car with the throttle sticking? That's what Robbie Gordon's involved with now in the Cummins Valvoline Special. Because every time he just nails it on the gas, all of a sudden it sticks and stays hung up.
No problem at all. We saw him pull to the side. He came off a little earlier. There's Stefan Johansson. And obviously, whatever problem he has, is terminal.
Yeah, that's a 94 Penske car. There's no accidents or anything like that we can see. It's just probably an engine or transmission problem.
Well, I caught a glimpse of him slowing down just a few moments ago while Jack was speaking. Here we'll get a look at it.
He had been running in 10th place. Stefan, of course, the Swedish driver with the background in Formula One, drove for Ferrari.
That's also a 94 Penske car. It makes one wonder right there the problem happened. Last year Penske cars, you wonder whether they got all the stuff that little Al had last year on that car, don't you?
Well, we're just a little over halfway here. Johansson out of the race, Jack Arute.
Well, Paul, Bobby Hunter still hasn't lost it. He surmised that it was a transmission. That's exactly what Stevie Johnson radioed in to Tony Bettenhausen. He says the transmission's gone away.
Stevie Johnson, our nickname from Stefan Johansson. There are other nicknames. We won't use them here, right, Bobby?
One good race driver, too. I really respect and admire that guy. He's really taken under the American speed, too.
Back to the leader of the race. We haven't seen much of him, and that's because he has been so powerful here at the front of the field. Michael Andretti, now 4 seconds out in front of second place Mauricio Gugelmin. There comes Gugelmin off the corner. But look, he's being challenged by Jacques Villeneuve right now. And waiting in the wings is Danny Sullivan and Scott Pruitt.
Villeneuve, remember, in the blue and white car, was a rookie last year, but he won at Elkhart Lake. He had a brilliant pass there near the end of the race. He earned that win for him. And today, he is one of the fastest cars on the track. Probably second fastest compared to Michael Andretti.
You know, we're over halfway into the race, and these guys have not let up on this battle right here the entire distance. So the price of racing is going to get pretty rough as we get near the end here.
Mauricio Gugelmin. Jack's just behind him. We could be due for stops any time now. Michael Andretti has gone 23 laps since his last pit stop, and several of the crews have started to lay out the equipment for the second and what should be the final pit stop of the day. And Michael peels off and heads into the pits. He's in the very first pit, Jack Arute.
And Paul, all he was yelling on the radio as he came in is right front, right front. They seem to think that maybe he had a right front go down, so they elected not to push the window any further than they had to. You're right, this should be the final stop for your leader. But boy, talk about living under... Oh, now he's killed the engine. The engine is dead, Paul.
Oh, they've got a broken control arm on the front of the car. On the right front of the car, there's a broken control arm. Tom reached down and picked it up.
That's the side of the car, of course, that hit the wall earlier, so it makes you wonder if perhaps this wasn't something destined to happen.
Of course, it's so easy to touch a concrete wall around here. This is really, really sad. Michael, at least from our